Blessings to you.
At our 2016 General Conference, we will be voting on full communion with the Moravians, and at the 2018 conference, the Moravians will be voting on it, and then we'll be married. It'll all be a done deal then, but we have long ties that recognize each other's form of ministry, ordination, communion, and the interchangeability of our pastoral staff. So we celebrate that this day. Lo, 40 years ago, I graduated from a fine institution in eastern Pennsylvania known as Lebanon Valley College. And it's our privilege to have with us the current president of Lebanon Valley College, Dr. Louis Thane, to give us greetings at this time. He's the 18th president of Lebanon Valley. Previous to that, he served 7 years as vice president of the College of Advancement at Franklin and Marshall College in Lancaster. So we welcome you, Dr. Thane. Thanks for coming to the party. It's a party here all the time. I mean that.
Well, thank you, Peggy. It's wonderful to be here. Greetings and good afternoon. I'm delighted to be here. This is the first General Conference I have attended, and I am truly impressed. Thank you for this gracious invitation to speak to you today. I don't need to tell this group how grateful I am to be working with Bishop Peggy Johnson, class of 75, as she's just said. Bishop Johnson has been a trustee at Lebanon Valley College since 2008, so she receives all of my communication to the trustees. And more importantly, she actually reads them. I've often marveled and have always given thanks for her brief, timely, and supportive email messages. Many of you, I know, have gotten those email messages as well. Her counsel and encouragement over the past 3 years have caused me to expand my view of effective leadership in fundamental ways and to consider how impactful a leader's small, timely gestures can be in moving things forward. We're also fortunate at LVC to have 3 other distinguished trustees connecting us through our history, but today with the United Methodist Church. Dr. Jeremiah Park of the Susquehanna Conference, Dr. J. Dennis Williams, known to many of you as Denny, retired minister and former district superintendent and dean of the cabinet, and Dr. William Shillady, a new trustee at the college, class of 1978 at LVC, and currently the executive director and chief executive officer of the United Methodist City Society in New York. Some of you know Lebanon Valley College, and I love hearing the cheers out there, and some do not. Allow me to give a very brief profile. We have 1,650 students on a 350-acre campus about 80 miles from here in Annville, Pennsylvania. There is a quiet sophistication to everything about the academic program at the college, and astonishing beauty to the campus. There is also an impressive vitality to our service life. Our students have completed over 20,000 hours, 1,650 students, 20,000 hours of community service in each of the past 3 years. And there is an equivalent vitality to the religious life on campus. 9 student clubs and activities directly having to do with religious life. All but 2 for Christian life. But we do have Hillel, and we have a world religions group, which I really like to see. The late senator from New York, Daniel Patrick Moynihan, had a simple recipe for building a world-class city. Step 1, establish a great university. Step 2, wait 200 years. Surely the founders of Lebanon Valley College 149 years ago had similar thoughts. I was in Boston as part of my early efforts to meet alumni, and a couple approached me, and the husband said, "My wife has persuaded me that I should tell you how I came to Lebanon Valley College and how going to the college changed my life." And like so many Lebanon Valley College stories, this one began, "I grew up on a farm." After finishing high school, this fellow worked on the farm for a while, but he realized every day was pretty much the same, and that wasn't for him. So he asked his father permission to go to college. And eventually his father said the following: "I will give you permission to go to college, but I will not pay for it, and I want you to know that you do so in direct opposition to my wishes." With some help from his high school teachers and a generous scholarship from Lebanon Valley, he found his way to the college and graduated. I still wonder what it must have been like to come home to the dinner table with the weight of a father's disapproval balanced against the moral ambition for an education and a better life. In this particular case, he went on to a career in international business, and his daughter now serves as head of the faculty at Choate Rosemary Hall, an independent school attended by President Kennedy and many eminent Americans. His struggle is the struggle of many of our students today. 25% of Lebanon Valley College students are first generation in their families to go to college. But his struggle is more than generational in its example, because now as Americans, we debate publicly the value of higher education, the value of the life of the mind and of the spirit even, and the moral ambition for a better life. The centennial history of Lebanon Valley College stated something that I read early in my tenure and still refer to. Lebanon Valley College was created by a body of devout but unlearned people who shared a vision of the good life and took the best way they could think of to preserve it for their children and their children's children. This is a simple but not naive faith in American democracy and in the potential of every individual. At Lebanon Valley, our faith in liberal education is as deeply held as our religious beliefs, and it is related to them through the values that we all seek to uphold and continue. They are simple ideas, and yet they are still revolutionary in their simplicity. The value of the individual, the necessity of collaboration, the essential notion that for education to be thorough, we must fully express our humanity in achieving it, and that to be practical in education should focus on the tools of thinking rather than the facts of what has already been thought. There is a sense that today, that with all of higher education's assets and history, we are going to need to change, to do so quickly, and to do so in substantive ways. And there is a sense in which we at Lebanon Valley College are in a perfect storm and not always feeling we are in a perfect boat. I do not have to speak about disruption to this audience, except to say that at Lebanon Valley College, we read disruption intentionally as an opportunity to transform, to make things different as we need to, and better as we must. I walked across campus recently with a visitor who asked me, "What are you working on?" I had to pause for a moment to lift myself out of the weeds, out of the immediate, and I said, I'm working on leading an institution as we develop an education for the 21st century. It seems too much to state that that's what I am working on, but it is the truth. And the elements of that 21st college education are ones that many of you are very familiar with. It must be global. There are a variety of things that have to be connected to the 21st century. A clear path to a first job, superb communication skills, critical and creative thinking skills, and unmistakable relevance. I recall going on the website of the church shortly after beginning my job at Lebanon Valley and seeing so clearly the places in which the church and the college enrich one another. And we are certainly enriched by our connection to the United Methodist Church. I'm very grateful for the vitality of this relationship, and as I need to state the tangible benefits that come from it. Most recently, we benefited from visits to our campus by Dr. Charles Schroeder, an international expert in student engagement and a thought leader in American higher education. What a gift to our campus. I applaud the General Board of Higher Education and Ministry and their support of this valuable program and pro bono program. Ultimately, my hope and my request in this greeting is that you will send us more students from your congregations. Send us great students. I do not expect them to simply arrive at our door, but it seems to me that in our 150th year at Lebanon Valley, our message should be about renewal and renewed engagement with society and certainly with the United Methodist Church. We at the college need to seize the narrative of disruption and turn it on its ear, as so many have done before us, preparing our institutions for the 21st century and the individuals who benefit from our institutions is what we are all about. I want to leave you with a final story. 1 week ago, the night before graduation, we had a reception on the what we call the social quad on campus of seniors and families. And I walked up to a family and started talking with them about what a good feeling it was to have just left our baccalaureate service and to anticipate graduation the next day. It was a beautiful night. And I said that what would be wonderful is if we could keep all of these good students here. And in my heart of hearts, I hated to see so many leave. And if every year we got new good students and we kept good students, we'd eventually build a much larger community. And the younger brother, who's about 12, said, President Thane, that means you would have to only graduate the bad students. I'm going to work on that. I know you have important business to conduct in your conference, and I wish you grace and peace, as Bishop Johnson has wished me on so many occasions. Continue your great work. We look forward to that enriched relationship with the Eastern Conference and the UMC, and please send us a lot of good students. Thank you.
We thank Dr. Thane, and I'm happy to say that I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior while I was a student at Lebanon Valley College. So I owe a lot to this place. Thank you. This time we'll turn over to our secretary to talk about the voting device. You all got a voting device.
Yes, we're going to do this in two steps.
We've hit a nerve.
First, we're going to bring out Cliff Caldwell from Meridia, and he's going to explain the devices to you and how we're going to use those. We're then going to